Welcome to your PWC Connections, a monthly look at what's happening inside PWC and out in our community. I'm your host, Courtney Lucas. Thanks for tuning in. We're stopping by one of our labs to learn more about something that's been on a lot of people's minds lately: water quality. If you want to know how we treat it, what's in it, and why it's safe to drink, stick around. And if you're interested in making money, this month's Inside PWC is for you. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the largest ever Building Business Rally. We're also going to hear from the United Way of Cumberland County about recent awards given to PWC and learn about electrical safety. Plus, new PWC customers, listen up. Today, the fax is just for you. We'll answer the questions you may have about your new services, so stay tuned.
We have two water plants. One is located on Glenville Lake off of Filter Plant Drive, and they get our water from Glenville Lake. And we have the Hoffer plant, which is off of Ramsey Street, and that water comes from the Cape Fear River. Our plants use what's known as conventional water treatment. We take the water out of the river, we bring it into the plant, we coagulate any suspended material that might be in the water. The water's then settles. At that point, we use powdered activated carbon to prevent any kind of taste and odor problems. The water is then filtered through a sand and anthracite filter. At that point, we adjust the pH and alkalinity levels to make sure there's no corrosion once the water gets into the distribution system. Then we disinfect that water and send it out into the distribution system. We also add fluoride to protect public health by preventing tooth decay, which is a standard practice for most all utilities in the United States. PWC runs about 118,000 tests a year on our water. We test for things, some of the more common things would be pH, chlorine, fluoride, turbidity, color. Those are the kind of things we test on a regular basis. We also test for inorganics, which are things like cadmium, chromium, copper, nickel, lead, zinc. We test for organic substances, which are more the man-made type chemical compounds like dioxane or some of your petroleum, hydrocarbon type compounds. We test for disinfection byproducts. We do a lot of bacteriological testing out in the system. So we have folks out in the system collecting water samples from over 100 sample sites in our distribution system on a regular basis. So testing our drinking water is important because it's a way of verifying that the plants and the processes that we have in place are working to protect public health and to make sure that our water is in compliance with all state and federal regulations. So I know there's been a lot of talk in the news lately about Gen X, but that facility discharges downstream from our intake, so it's not in our water, and the state has done a lot of testing that's verified it's not found upstream of that facility, and it's not in our drinking water. We've all heard in the news also a little bit about 1,4-dioxane, and I would just say, up front, it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and it needs addressing sooner rather than later. And we've been working with the state regulators to find a solution to get that removed from our source water. The thing we need to remember about dioxane, first of all, is that it's a long-term exposure risk. It's not a short-term risk. The human health criteria that's been published by EPA is based on an individual drinking 2 liters of water a day for 70 years. And at the levels we're seeing in our water, that comes out to a less than 1 in 100,000 chance of developing any kind of health risk over a lifetime of exposure. I think the other thing that's important is that we sort of put that in perspective. If you ride or drive in a vehicle, your lifetime odds of being killed in a motor vehicle crash are about 1 in 600. And then you've got to consider too, it's a lifetime exposure, and we don't anticipate this being in our water anywhere near that long. We expect a solution, in the next couple years. And I'm proud to be employed at PWC, and I'm proud of the work we do to protect our water and to provide safe, clean water to our customers. And here again, I drink the water every day, and I feel very safe and confident that the product we provide is a good quality product.
The Building Business Rally, or BBR as we're calling it, has been around for about 4 years, and we've done it from partners with the City of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, the school system, and some other universities. This year we have expanded it into anyone in the MSA, the Metropolitan Statistical Area, which means Cumberland County and Hoke. So we've extended invitations for anyone that has a purchasing or procurement office to attend, and that way they can meet other vendors, or AKA businesses, so they could figure out what are the projects that are coming up, what are some maybe some local or small business incentives that are happening in everyone's purchasing department. Usually small businesses especially are one-man, one-woman shows or very small staff. So instead of having to sign up for 10 or 20 different procurement offices to be a vendor at those procurement offices, you can have literally walking around and seeing, hey, I've signed up and now I'm a vendor with all of these. So it's really going to streamline your process in getting your foot into the door if you haven't already. We'll also have some larger businesses there that might be general contractors. So if you're a potential sub for one of those, you might be able to meet and greet them too. So it's really more of a one-stop shop in order to increase everyone, especially me, local procurement spend here, because what we want to do is get those small businesses in really face-to-face with those procurement offices to understand the process, to understand it's not an intimidating process, it's just governed by different rules than it would be for private purchasing. I think part of the decision to bring everybody to the table is definitely to get the most bang for your time, for sure, because time is money in a business. And the addition to the faybids.com website will have everyone who has sent in their purchasing website to a one-stop shop website, so you could literally go to every single website to see all the opportunities that are coming up. It's also a little bit about education as well, because if you're state funded, if you're federally funded, if you're PWC and your city owned utility versus the city, all those funds have different rules and regulations. So it really is to help educate the small business that's interested in doing business with the government or the university or whomever is there from the purchasing departments. It is Tuesday, May 22nd at FTCC from 3 to 7 p.m. It is open to the public, and who should come should be small businesses, big businesses, general contractors, subs, anyone who sells something, whether it's a product or a good, that you think someone from the school system, PWC, City of Fayetteville would purchase. We are encouraging pre-registration on the website. That would be through faybids.com or the Fayetteville PWC website. We'll also, in that same room, you'll have purchasing tables, small business or business resources, all the way to a plan room. And what a plan room is basically any entity that has a big project coming up and the plans have already been drawn up, they're going to leave them there for potential vendors to see as well. We're also going to have Mark Kennedy from Fayetteville PWC procurement there, and Mr. Cooney from Spring Lake Purchasing will be there to kind of show people these are the lists, these are the projects. Maybe you're a lawn care company and you don't think you fit in this huge project, but you actually do. So if they remove sod, you might need someone to come in and replace it. So if you cannot attend, you definitely should go to faybids.com, or you could go to the PWC website, and you could sign up as a vendor that way as well. We're also going to be distributing that information for your business internally at PWC, but also externally if you would like that shared with the other purchasing offices. So just in case you can't come, we still want to give you as much information as possible. So I think any potential contractor, current or thinking about getting into that kind of realm in their business, would be amazed. PWC ourselves have a $300 million budget. So imagine us and the city and the school systems together, the amount of money that could be staying local if we knew where the vendors were, or if those vendors were interested in expanding their business into contracting. The goal, especially for my position being local vending procurement, is really to find those small businesses interested. What are their barriers? How can we get them that information, and how do we get them to bid and then hopefully be awarded a contract? So I would encourage, even if you don't own a business, if you're interested in it, if you know someone who owns a business that you know could expand into this realm, please invite them May 22nd. We would be very excited to meet you.
May is National Electric Safety Month. It's a month where we focus on safety with electricity at home. The power that comes to a home or a business is still powerful enough to harm or even kill you when handled improperly. Why it's important, why we take a month to focus on how to be safe around such a potentially dangerous thing. Here are some general safety tips to keep you and your family safe at home. Always use extension cords that are properly rated for the amount of electricity that you're going to use. Don't place any cords under carpets or through a doorway or anywhere that might be stepped on. It could cause damage to the cord. Put safety caps on all unused electrical outlets to keep it safe for kids. Make sure to look up and look out for power lines before you climb any trees in your yard. Don't ever climb a fence around an electrical substation. Ever. Always keep electrical things far away from water. Most electrical accidents happen when people use electricity near water. Don't sit on any of the transformer or electrical equipment that may be in your yard. When flying a kite or airplanes, be aware of where the power lines are. You don't want those to connect to the power lines, as they might conduct electricity. Inspect your cords and plugs. Make sure to check them for any damage or any fraying. If there is any, please replace the cord. Don't plug several items into one outlet. Just plug one item per each outlet. Don't disconnect any power supplies by pulling or jerking on the cord. Go to the base of the cord at the wall and pull there. Never break off the third prong on a plug. Never use extension cords as permanent wiring. Extension cords should be used temporarily to supply power to an area that doesn't have a power outlet nearby. And don't put anything in the outlets unless it's a plug for a piece of equipment that we're using. One of the things I tell my boys is if they're changing a light bulb out of the socket, to unplug the lamp before they do so. Because if it's plugged in, the socket is still live. And it's possible for a child or even an adult to put their finger in the socket and complete the circuit with their body. It's because electricity is powerful and dangerous, and it's unseen. And it's in every home. It's incredibly useful, which is why we use it every day for everything. But it still is dangerous, and we need to be aware that it is essentially a tool that can be misused. So as we go through the month, remember, be safe with your electricity.
The annual United Way Awards are really neat ways for United Way to raise awareness for the overall United Way itself. Everybody comes together and there is an energy that you just can't explain. The support with the partner charities and the organizations in Cumberland County is just phenomenal. And you know, it's just a great way to really bring, I think, everybody to the table together in a way that celebrates good things happening in our community. The Spirit of North Carolina Award is a really neat award. It's actually, I think, one of the best ones because it encompasses so many levels. And PWC has won this 12 times, which is phenomenal. It is sponsored every year by the United Way of North Carolina to recognize companies and their employees for the outstanding support that their community demonstrates in the excellence in how they run their United Way campaign. The Marquee Award is an award that is given to an organization that has the highest number of marquee givers, which is a marquee giver who is somebody that gives $1,000, either individually, it can be done by a couple. The Spirit of Community Award goes to an organization that exhibits outstanding year-round support for our community, not only in United Way, but through their other local nonprofit agencies throughout Cumberland County. And PWC was given this award based on their ongoing support of United Way throughout the year. I have never seen an organization with, I think it's like 96% participation rate in a campaign. And just that kind of support goes so far in reaching so many people.
I think the United Way does good work in the community. It is touching a broad cross-section through many different agencies that touch on a lot of significant needs that are out there in the community. I think this year PWC probably represents about 10% of the total that's given to the United Way. So that's pretty strong when you think about the breadth of our community. But also it's what PWC not only does in giving, but the way they allow their employees to support and be involved in service to the United Way and the partner agencies. They really set the standard for what we hope the community will do. The Days of Caring program allows people who are interested in the United Way and its agencies to go visit and be involved with those agencies for a day or two once a year. It gives a real direct, it's one thing to give and know that in your mind you're going to help people, but when you actually go to those agencies and see the people that are doing that work every day and see those clients come in and get help, changes your whole perspective about giving.
At Fayetteville's Public Works Commission, people make the difference.
Hi, my name is Randall Cummings and I'm a water treatment plant operator here at PWC.
Randall and his colleagues operate PWC's award-winning facilities for water treatment and wastewater reclamation. They install and continuously maintain our water and sewer lines. And they help PWC provide customers with a clean, safe water supply that exceeds EPA standards. For tips on conserving power, visit PWC's website.
Hello. In this segment of The Facts, we're going to be discussing customer need-to-knows, especially if you're a new customer of PWC. Take myself, for example. I recently purchased a new home. In my previous living situation, I had a water bill, an electric bill, even a gas bill, and they were all coming from different companies. Well, now I'm with PWC, and I want to know how the rates compare, how reliable is the service, and exactly what services do they offer. Joining me to help answer some of those questions will be Senior Customer Programs Officer Mark Brown. Come on, let's get started. Here with me, I have Senior Customer Programs Officer Mark Brown. Mark, thanks for joining me.
Lamont, glad to be here.
So Mark, help me out. I'm recently a new homeowner. PWC is going to be providing services for me. Talk to me about some of the services that PWC provides.
I guess one of the things that's important to remember as a PWC customer is that we do provide multiple services. And it's important to remember that we are owned by the City of Fayetteville. Our assets are owned by the City of Fayetteville. We're a nonprofit utility. We have local employees and we have local policymakers. So we're very much a local utility. As such, we provide 3 basic services: electricity, water, and sanitary sewer. All right. In addition, we have a couple optional services that I can talk to you when we get into the specific services.
Okay. So with those multiple services, that's something I need to be mindful of when I receive my bill, that I'm not just going to be billed for one service.
Right. So each of our services, if you have all 3 of our services, you'll see all of the electric billing determinants first and a total for that, subtotal for that, and then each one for water and wastewater. Okay. So you'll see a separate total for each of them, but you will see all of them broken out on your bill.
Okay. So what about the electric service? What should I know as a new customer?
I think it's important to remember that it's more than just your light bill.
Right.
You get your lights, you get your heating, you get your cooling, and it powers your home. All of your appliances, your washers, your dryers, your refrigerators. So there's much more being used than just lights on your electric bill. We're very proud at PWC that we have some of the lowest electric rates in the whole Southeast. One of the reasons for that is our commission has a strategic goal that they have the lowest prudent rates. And so that's important, and that's why we keep our rates as low as we can, because that's a very important goal the commission has. When you come to that, another thing to be worried about as electric utility is reliability. All right?
Always want those lights on.
Always want those lights on. In 2016, which is the most recent information we have, our average customer was out of power for only 27 minutes.
Wow.
And if you remember in 2016, that's when Hurricane Matthew was here then. If you take out the outages related to Hurricane Matthew, the average customer was out for an average of 4 minutes in 2016 and had less than one outage for the whole year.
Okay.
So we're a very reliable utility, and part of that is because our local workers can respond very quickly if we do have an outage. Right.
Talk to me about the water service rates.
So one thing about water service is not every customer who's a PWC customer has water service. There are 3 water companies that provide water in the Fayetteville area. We do have, again, among the lowest rates in the whole Southeast. It goes back to the Commission's strategic goal. We also, something that most customers don't know, is that we have tiered rates. So the first 2,000 gallons that a customer uses are at the lowest possible rate. So that allows customers who have very minimal needs to get a low bill. So people who are on fixed income who don't have a lot of needs pay a lower rate to help them meet their minimum needs. And then customers who can afford to use more pay a higher bill.
Talk to me about how safe the water is.
Okay, so we're very proud at PWC, and we take a lot of work to make sure that the water is plentiful and safe.
Right.
We meet or exceed all the EPA standards for drinking water, all right? And so, and we work very hard, and we take pride in making sure that there's plenty of water for the neighborhood. If you remember, we just worked with the state to ensure that water would continue to flow down the Cape Fear to us.
Right.
And so that's what we do to do that. And also, we've won awards, national awards for our water.
Now, would there be a difference if I stay inside the city limits as opposed to being outside of them?
Absolutely. So it's very common in water utilities in North Carolina and in other states where municipal utilities provide the water that the rate for customers inside the city is different than customers who are outside the city. The basic reason for that is that the city owns those assets. So the taxpayers at the city get the benefit of a lower rate inside the city, and the people who live outside the city pay more. At Fayetteville, it's both for water and sanitary sewer. That applies not only to the city of Fayetteville, but also the town of Hope Mills, because when we purchased the town of Hope Mills water and sewer system, we entered into an agreement that qualified their inside the town customers for inside town rates also.
Okay. You mentioned sewer. So, new home, sewer. How do I know if I have sewer or a septic tank?
Basically, you should know from the person you're buying it from. Okay. Like a big lot like you have here, there might be a chance there's a septic tank. When the smaller lots, you need a lot of space for a septic tank. You have to have the septic tank, and if you have well water, you have to have good separation between those two. But in this area, you probably have sewer service. You're in the heart of the city, so you probably have sewer service. We're not the only person that provides sewer service. Again, the town of Eastover also provides sewer service. So if you're east of the river, it's possible that you get your water and sewer from town of Eastover and your electricity from us.
And you mentioned briefly that there's some other services offered by PWC.
Right. The other optional services on the electric side, we offer area lights.
Okay.
So an area light is an additional light we can put on your property to provide additional security light for a monthly fee. So if you're looking at that, especially when you move into a new house, you might not know that you have an area light. So that's one of the first things you want to do when you call in for service, when you call to set up service, or when you look at your bill, see if there are extra charges for an area light to do that. On the water side, the other optional service we have is irrigation service. Okay. Irrigation service has to be a separate service. The benefit of irrigation service is that you don't pay sewer charges on that.
You've armed me with a lot of good information. We've gone over electric, water, sewer. Anything else I need to know? What about customer service? What if I have an issue?
Well, we pride ourselves on being your hometown utility. So we have local employees, we have local policymakers. So whether you're online, on the phone, coming in to see us, we're local and we're ready to serve you.
Grateful for Mark joining us to give us some of the information we need, especially as a new customer. He's broken it down for electric, water, sewer, even some other services. It's been great information. Well, I hope I can use it because those are the facts.
and welcome to Take One. This is our chance to highlight news, upcoming events, and important FYIs from the Fayetteville Public Works Commission. National Drinking Water Week is observed every year in the month of May. PWC, the American Water Works Association, and other water providers across the United States celebrate this week by recognizing the vital role drinking water plays in our daily lives. This year's theme, Protect the Source, focuses on ways in which water consumers can take personal responsibility in caring for their tap water and protecting it at its source. You can conserve and protect the water we drink by using water wisely at home by following these simple steps. Repair leaky faucets, indoors and out. Only run the dishwasher and washing machine when they are full. Take shorter showers and install low-flow shower heads. Turn off the water when you brush your teeth, and repair leaky toilets. We depend on drinking water daily. It's a precious resource, and together we can protect and preserve it. For more information about National Drinking Water Week and for additional water-saving tips, visit PWC online. The celebrations continue in May because we're also observing Public Works Week. Streets, roads, bridges, and public transportation keep us linked together from coast to coast, and clean water and sanitation services keep us healthy and allow our communities to grow and prosper. And that wouldn't be possible without Public Works. Did you know Fayetteville PWC supplies water to nearly 250,000 customers in Cumberland County and the surrounding areas? PWC owns and maintains more than 2,000 miles of water mains. We're the largest municipal power system in North Carolina and the 35th largest, out of more than 2,000, public power systems in the United States. PWC provides power to more than 80,000 electric customers and owns more than 48,000 distribution power poles. We'll cap off Public Works Week with the largest art show in our community, Public Works, at the Arts Council in downtown Fayetteville on Friday, May 25th. Public Works features unique works from local artists of all ages. Not an artist? That's okay. We still want you to join us. Vote for your favorite work of art and help us select this year's winner. For more information, including information on how you can submit your very own work of art, visit our website or the Arts Council online. In addition to viewing amazing artwork in the gallery, you'll have an opportunity to get a close look at some of the trucks and equipment we use every day to ensure that our customers have reliable water and wastewater services. Plus, meet some of the water construction employees who make it happen every day. It's a free event, and we hope to see you there. Finally, hurricane season will be here before you know it. From June 1st through November 30th, we're keeping a close eye on the forecast and will remain hopeful we can avoid weather's wrath. PWC has an aggressive and proactive plan for operations in the event of a hurricane or other severe weather, and we encourage you to be prepared as well. It's a good idea to have an emergency plan for infants, elderly, pets, and those with special needs, and to become familiar with safety tips and emergency prep information on our website. During a power outage, remember to keep your refrigerator and freezer doors closed as much as possible to maintain the cold temperature. A refrigerator should keep food cold for about 4 hours if the door is kept shut, and a full freezer should hold its temperature for up to 48 hours. Pack an emergency kit now before a storm comes our way. Some things to keep in the kit include a battery-operated radio and flashlight with extra batteries, at least a 3-day supply of water for each person in your family, non-perishable foods and a manual can opener, medications and a first aid kit, a change of clothes, personal hygiene items, and cash. And if you or someone in your home requires life-sustaining equipment, which is dependent on electric and/or water service, we encourage you to sign up for our Medical Priority Program. You'll receive early notification and priority restoration consideration in the event of a scheduled or emergency interruption of service. PWC requires the customer and customer's physician to complete a medical priority application, which can be found on the residential programs page on the PWC website. Thanks for watching Take One, and remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.